Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Series 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at Reva. Now I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research, make sure you are comfortable before buying. I have popped the link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Hot Toys Star Wars figure review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it's pretty much done in the usual Star Wars style. We have the two-tone effect on the edges and an image of the figure herself front and center, a metallic foil Star Wars logo, and the high-gloss wraparound banner, with a cheeky little cameo from the Purge Trooper standing behind Reva. Then Star Wars, some red accents to signify the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, as well as her name. On the side of the box, another product shot, as well as the rest of that two-tone effect spilling over the edge from the front cover. And then around the back, warnings and legal information, so not much to report back there. You see, this piece of artwork, this is what I'm talking about. This looks so much better than what was printed on the front cover. And it's still photography of the figure herself. It's not like it's an image of Moses Ingram from the show. This is what we're getting inside the box. Even though I'm not a massive fan of Reva in the show, I think the actress did the best she could with the material she had to work with, because Moses is a very strong performer. She killed it in her role in The Queen's Gambit. First-in-hand impressions for Reva? So far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing with the proportions, the outfit, and the head sculpt. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of her accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything she comes with. Starting off with the display base first, which is done in the typical Star Wars Imperial flooring style. This is so versatile. It can be a Star Destroyer, or it can be the Fortress Inquisitorius. You have silver chipping on the edges to make it look weathered, Star Wars, Reva, and in brackets third sister on the etched nameplate, plus up top an adjustable waist clamp. I don't love this. I would have preferred a crotch grabber because her waist area is quite heavily armored, which means it bulks her up. So this is going to put a lot of pressure around her waist and potentially dig into the outfit over time. Next up, we've got some interchangeable outfit options. We have this brown bandage that attaches with Velcro, and a wired cloak, done in a charcoal grey. We will try out both of these on her later on. These, though, are my favourite accessories. We get the hologram projector with these yellow accents around the edges, an Obi-Wan Kenobi hologram, and a fifth brother one. You have these horizontal lines going across them, and because they are various thicknesses of plastic, like down below Obi-Wan's robe is quite chunky, the amount of saturation with the blue does also vary. So that means they look slightly janky like real Star Wars holograms as light passes through them. Reva comes with 4 different lightsaber hilts. One LED-powered one, which we'll get to, one broken lightsaber hilt, there's even detail on the bottom, it's nice and shiny and metallic for the silver, one that's meant to just hang on her belt with the CoverTech clip that we'll discuss later, and just one fully expanded version. None of these attach magnetically to her back, like we saw with the Grand Inquisitor. You're just supposed to use this one and hang it on her belt. But that's okay, that's how it's supposed to be. You do get 2 of these fully expanded lightsaber hilts because this one is wired because it's got an LED light-up feature. The cable does just come out the back and you will have to do some clever cable management to hide it. You also get this junction box that says Hot Toys, there's these 2 connectors up on top, and down below a USB-C port. But no USB-C cable is included, so you do have to get your own USB cable. Around the back there's a clip so you can hook it onto her belt, or you can use the other clip and have this thing installed onto the crotch grabber. We do get 4 lightsaber blades in total. 2 of them are just these straight-edged blades that do come down to a nice thin taper, but they're cast in this translucent, almost pink plastic, rather than a fiery red. I would have preferred if they dialed up the saturation a bit more than they ended up doing. And then the other 2 lightsaber blades are the swooshing effect ones. These being as thick as they are, do end up being pretty heavy, so make sure you have her properly balanced, otherwise this could foreseeably topple her over in the display. Also, the sculpt is a bit weird. It almost looks like she's just swooshing it like this, which I guess is fine if that's what you're going for, but normally you'd have a straight edge coming out of the blade, and then it would be swooshing backwards or forwards, rather than this perfect fan shape. At least it is more saturated on the front edge versus the trailing edge where it's more translucent. That being said, I have seen people make it work and it can look sick. It's all just depending on the pose. We do get a full array of hands with these super textured gloves and then these smoother armor plates, ranging from this force push open palm hand to a gripping hand for the right side, a gripping hand for the left side, and a closed fist for the right. And then 2 relaxed open palm hands already installed on her out of the box. What we are going to do now, though, is get Reva herself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses, or accessories, or anything like that. It's a tale as old as time. A figure based off a character that wasn't received super well, or a film or TV show that not a lot of people loved. Yet somehow the figure is better than the sum of its parts, and the character and the source material that it's based off. That's what I'm trying to say is true for Reva. Even though I didn't connect with the character and I didn't love her in the show, in figure format, I am all for this release. It looks exactly like Moses Ingram. It captures that smug look that Reva had that is so fitting for an Inquisitor. And then the outfit, even though it comes across quite simple being all black, there is more to it than first meets the eye. She comes with a ton of different accessories, including multiple lightsaber hilts, and her outfit is 99% all fabric, so you can go crazy with the posing, whilst also being careful of the screen printed areas. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Reva's head sculpt. I don't know what to tell you. I think they nailed it. I can see Moses Ingram from every angle. And the expression, that's what sells it to me. You've got this subtle smirk with her eyes looking up and a little bit of a furrowed brow, so it all just works together to make her look fierce and a bit cocky at the same time. She's got skin texture, both sculpted and painted, with that speckling of different shades of paint on the surface. You can see her scalp poking through the braids and this feathered edge to the hairline. Plus, the skin tone and skin texture match between the head and the neck is perfect. No complaints from me. The only thing that you will have to watch out for is her rubbery sculpted ponytail. It is plugged in separately, but because there are already gaps between all of the rest of the braids, I don't think that seam is going to jump out at you. It doesn't for me at least. The reason why you have to watch out for it is because, yes, it is flexible. It's made out of rubbery plastic, but it will collide with the armor plating, and you are putting pressure on the connection where it's plugged into the head sculpt, where it looks like the hair has been tied up. So just be aware of that when you are posing Reva. The armor is made of this rubbery plastic, and there's this leather grain texture on the surface. The cape probably would be removable if you wanted to mess around with the armor and try and get up under there, but I don't, so I'm just going to leave the cape on my copy of Reva. It's made of this single-ply fabric, and it's screen printed. Plus, it's split down the middle, so it's a really interesting design for a Star Wars cape. Not to mention the fact that the screen-printed shiny circles are actually Imperial cogs. That's something I didn't notice for a while until I looked a lot closer, and yeah, that's exactly what they are. Underneath the cape, there is some ugly stitching, which has to be somewhere because they had to install the outfit somehow. At least when you bring the cape down, you're never really going to notice it. Her belt area is also made out of this rubbery style plastic with the leather grain texture. Okay, so front on, it looks like this is one piece of fabric, right, that tucks up underneath the belt? It isn't. This is sculpted plastic and it's attached to the belt, whereas this is more of a rubbery style material. But the sheen and the color match is so freaking close that it fooled me, and I wouldn't be surprised if it fooled some of you as well. I don't think this is pleather, so I hope that it doesn't flake over time. Her shoulder pads are asymmetrical, made of rubbery plastic as you'd expect. One side you have the Imperial cog done in high gloss, whereas the other is just smooth plastic. You also have a little comms section on one gauntlet, but not the other. To install her lightsaber hilt onto her belt, pretty easy. You just want to take the collapsed hilt, switch out the CoverTech wheel so it's the longer one, then install it into the connector. It just sits there. It's held in place with friction and gravity. Yes, if you do bump it a ton, it will fall off on you, but if you lock her arm down by her side, that will hold the hilt in place. While we're here, we may as well discuss the undersuit. It is this stretchy spandex, but there's screen printing on the inside of the arms and on the inside of the legs. Because it is in a relatively high traffic area, I would be careful of the screen printing. If you leave her elbow bent, for example, that detail may just stick to itself over time. I'm not worried about the legs as much. It's not like there's screen printing around the backs for the knees. You've got this ribbed fabric, and that's also stretchy, so not so much concerned about the legs, more so the arms, for me personally. Her boots look nice and chonky, there's a ton of texture over the top of them, and there's some wrinkling. It looks like fabric. But this is one of the rare instances where they didn't use pleather, they've gone with sculpted plastic. So it's a split cut boot design for maximum range of motion. Weirdly though, there is no tread on the underside of her shoes. Okay, let's quickly talk about the cable management situation for the USB-C powered lightsaber. The cable comes out the bottom of the hilt, it goes underneath the gauntlet, around the back, to a junction box which clips onto her belt, that is putting a lot of pressure onto the outfit. Then you plug the USB cable in, and it connects up to the power supply. So you have multiple cables that you have to manage and try and hide with the cape in the outfit. For custom sabers, that's fine. I can get around that because the sabers look incredible. They look like real lightsabers when they're lit up. For the Hot Toy sabers, I don't think the drawback of having to manage all of these cables is worth it for their light up effect because it just doesn't look all that fantastic. If you do like it though, I'm happy for you. Now she does have some interchangeable outfit options, starting off with the bandage piece that goes around her waist. I don't like this. Not because of how it looks per se, it's fine, it just pops around her waist and it represents the bandage from the show, but because of what it means. She was stabbed twice by Darth Vader through the stomach with a lightsaber. Don't forget, that killed Qui-Gon, yet somehow, in Disney Star Wars, everyone gets stabbed and it's not a problem, they just keep on going. So, once again, not something that I'm going to be using. This isn't bad. Now there's a ton of contrast. You've got the grey for the cloak, you've got the brown for the bandage, and the black for the outfit. Everything meshes well. The hood is wired, and you also have wires running down the front edges of the cloak. It's made of this linen-style fabric, so there's this texture on the surface, and there's a ton of it. Then we have these tassels hanging down the front. It makes her look a little bit more dynamic, and it adds some intrigue. So if you do want to have her looking more mysterious with the hood covering her eyes, just so she's peering out from under it, that is totally doable. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left, Reva, and on the right, my favourite Hot Toys Darth Vader, the Rogue One version. He absolutely towers over her. I think that the height difference might be a touch too extreme. Yes, he is supposed to be the tallest dude in the room, but as you can see, Reva looks tiny compared to him. Even compared to the Grand Inquisitor, Reva is quite substantially smaller. I have also removed his cape, which I forgot to do in the review, so now he is more Rebels animation accurate. It just attaches with Velcro. He's been standing like this in my display since I got him, because I think without the cape, somehow he looks even better. Oh, and the Purge Trooper, also from the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series? Yeah, you guessed it, taller than Reva. Going over articulation, because she is on a brand new body, I have no idea what to expect here. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck and a double ball peg. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, it is of course limited by the rubbery ponytail, swivel, and pivot side to side. The shoulder pads are slightly soft, and the armor plating is on Velcro. The arms will go up to there, going forward to there, butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90, then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. The torso does mostly bend at the midsection rather than down here at the waist because this belt is made of rubbery plastic. It's super restrictive. Going forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. Her legs will go forward to there, pretty much unrestricted actually, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee, going to just past 90 because the boot guard does collide with her thigh. And then a split cut boot design with a double ball peg for the ankles. Good for forward and back, swivel, as well as ankle tilt. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. While she doesn't have it in the show for long, the first annoying thing is she doesn't come with the Grand Inquisitor pin. It would have been icing on the cake in my opinion if you could have taken it off the Grand Inquisitor and magnetically attached it to Reva. The second annoying thing is their solution to the whole button cell battery issue. It's this, a mess of cables, a little junction box, and not including a USB-C cable. So every time you get a Hot Toys figure that does come with something powered by USB-C, you're gonna have to buy a cable, and that to me is just ridiculous. But the worst part about this is when you turn it on, it's not even that much better than the button cell battery powered sabers. Especially in low light. As you can see, it is quite bright towards the hilt, but because it's baselit, it does get quite dim very quickly towards the tips of the blades. The third annoying thing is it just me, or does her neck look a little bit short? I've tried to adjust it by pushing the outfit down and trying to expose more of her skin tone neck. It hasn't really worked though. From front on, she looks like she's got no neck. The first cool thing is we have multiple options for the little CoverTech wheel. We have the collapsed one or the fully extended out version so you can install her hilt onto her belt. The second cool thing has to be these mini holograms. This is a dead ringer for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Even though it's tiny, it's translucent blue plastic, and you have these scan lines over the top, you can tell who it's supposed to be. The third cool thing is, it took me a while to notice this after I unboxed her, but the little screen printed details on the inside of her cape are Imperial cogs. They are really small, but up close you can definitely tell that's what they're supposed to be. Wrapping up on Reva, a character that not a lot of people loved, unfortunately. I count myself as one of those people. Yes, she did some pretty cool stuff in the show, yet I found her to be pretty grating. There were certain scenes where I think she could have been cut out of, especially that end part where she was chasing Luke through the desert on Tatooine. Such a weird choice. There is a fan cut of Obi-Wan Kenobi that fixes all of the issues I have with the show, and makes me like Reva so much better than the stock Disney version. So, with all of that being said, yeah, I wasn't super excited to get Reva in hand. Now that I have her though, this figure is incredible. The proportions are spot on, the head sculpt is glorious, especially with that hair. The amount of detail packed into the hair alone is insane. She comes with multiple lightsaber hilts, and the outfit, while on paper it can look boring, in practice it doesn't. There is so much to look at with the different sheens and textures and finishes at play. And you can pose her dynamically without really having to worry about destroying the outfit, if you are careful of the screen printed areas. So at the end of this, I don't think a lot of people are going to buy Reva, which is a darn shame, because this figure has excelled at almost every level. She is so much better than I thought she was going to be. Now, I got mine at a discount from Pop Collectibles. As always, do your own research. Make sure you are comfortable before buying. I have popped the link to their site in the description below, along with the discount code Justin's Collection, for 5% off your order if you do decide to buy from them. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.